3 resplendent beams of light tore through the Thunder realm, carrying an indescribable wave of destruction as they plunged into the colossal vortex and smashed hard against the retreating evil black sun. Boom! The moment of impact echoed thunderously throughout the Thunder realm. The Thunder slurry sea region below fragmented under the shockwaves, transforming into vast lakes floating amidst the realm. The black sun, struck by such force, shattered almost instantly. The evil black aura dissipated at a startling speed, revealing the alien demon king beneath, exposed to the assault of the 3 great ancestral talismans. As the approaching talismans roared closer, the alien demon king's eyes brimmed with palpable fear. For the first time, he unmistakably felt the threat of death. "I refuse to die here," the alien demon king bellowed, his voice filled with defiance. Yet, his cries went unheard as the 3 ancestral talismans mercilessly collided with his body. Thud. At the moment of impact, the alien demon king's body fragmented instantaneously, releasing an overwhelming wave of black energy that sought to scatter. But just as the black energy began to disperse, silver, red, and black rays of light swiftly spread out. As soon as the black energy touched these rays, it dissolved rapidly, like snow under a blazing sun. "You pitiful humans dare to obliterate me? Mark my words, my clan will one day trample your plane, condemning you to eternal servitude." A piercing wail, filled with venomous hatred and curse, echoed within the Thunder realm as the black energy dispersed. "I'm so unwilling. So unwilling." The raging energy beneath the Thunder Sea gradually dissipated, taking with it the alien demon king's body. The very being who had single-handedly devastated Thunder Palace was finally obliterated, thanks to the combined might of the 3 ancestral talismans. Sigh. As the alien demon king was vanquished, Lin Dong's strength waned, and his arms fell limp at his sides. His young face turned pale, but despite his weakness, excitement flickered in his eyes. Who could have imagined that he had assisted Mo Luo in the Thunder Emperor in eradicating an alien demon king, a being as formidable as one at the peak of the reincarnation stage? The black hole in midair diminished considerably before finally condensing into a black light that entered Lin Dong's mind. "Lin Dong, are you okay?" Mu Ling Shan approached quickly, concern evident in her voice. Lin Dong waved his hand. His primordial energy was nearly drained, leaving his essence spirit and his dantian weak. "Heh, attacking an alien demon king with great completion of the life mystique stage. You're the first I've seen to dare such a feat," the Thunder Emperor chuckled, watching Lin Dong with a smile. Lin Dong responded with a wry smile. "As a holder of the Ancestral Talisman, it's a duty I can't refuse." When he first acquired the devouring Ancestral Talisman, he understood that such power came with responsibilities. The Ancestral Talismans exist to protect this realm, and as their bearers, so must they continue this guardianship. The Thunder Emperor nodded slightly, gazing at Lin Dong with a glint of admiration in his silvery eyes. Then, he pointed into the air, releasing a spark of thunder that flickered towards Lin Dong. "This is a remnant of what I have left. Fate has brought us together, so I bequeath it to you." Lin Dong, momentarily stunned, reached out and caught the spark. It shimmered like a crystal of thunder, emanating a profoundly unique aura. "When I ascended to the revolution stage, I gleaned certain insights, which may assist you in your future breakthrough." Touched, Lin Dong contemplated. In this world, those in the death mystique stage are considered formidable, but to become a true powerhouse, one must step into the revolution stage. However, it is a formidable challenge. So many have been thwarted at that final step. This rarity underlined the value of the Thunder Crystal. If those at perfect completion of the death mystique stage knew about it, they would surely covet it. "Thank you, Senior." Lin Dong, with sincere gratitude, clasped his fists toward the Thunder Emperor. "I am already a fallen one. Letting these insights dissipate with my existence would waste their significance." The Thunder Emperor smiled faintly. "Besides, your current abilities are still fledgling." Lin Dong nodded. He knew the alien demons were quite wary of the Ancestral Talismans. If given the chance, they would certainly try to eliminate those who wielded them. Unlike Luo, he did not possess overwhelming strength or command over something as vast as the Flame Deity Palace. Therefore, he naturally avoided being as conspicuous, ensuring the world remained unaware of his possession of the Flame Ancestral Talisman. How are things with the alien demons in the world today? The Thunder Emperor suddenly asked, looking at Luo. They have gone deeper into hiding. Luo's face clouded as he spoke. Moreover, they're becoming more organized. From the intelligence I've gathered, there is now a terrifying organization within this plane, entirely composed of alien demons. It's possible that the alien demons who attacked your Thunder Mansion back in the day were orchestrated by this organization. The Thunder Emperor furrowed his brow. Alien demons scattered proximately were not that alarming, but when they gather with a concrete purpose. Over the centuries, there have been incidents where those lucky enough to obtain ancient divine artifacts were attacked by mysterious figures. Even some top-tier experts were besieged. Lin Dong's eyes narrowed. Little Martin's situation when they obtained the ancestral stone came to mind. Could it be that those who attacked were alien demons? What do they want? The Thunder Emperor asked. They aim to reduce human top-tier combat power and decrease the number of ancestral talisman wielders, Luo said coldly. Their ultimate goal should be to tear open the rift between dimensions, allowing an alien demon army to invade this dimension again. The Thunder Emperor's expression subtly changed. The ancient battle between heaven and earth was a narrow victory for humanity, achieved through the self-sacrifice of the Ancestral Talisman Master. If such a war erupted again, could anyone match the Ancestral Talisman Master's level? Luo shook his head slowly, but after a moment, he said, though, as far as I know, among the 8 disciples of the Ancestral Talisman Master, there was one who was considered to have the best chance of reaching that level. Who? The Thunder Emperor asked with some surprise. I believe it was Ice Lord. She was the Ancestral Talisman Master's most outstanding disciple, Luo mused. After that celestial battle, she should have entered reincarnation. Who knows when she will awaken? Ice Lord. Lin Dong's eyes shrank involuntarily at this familiar name, his hand within his sleeve clenching immediately. Huan was the reincarnation of the Ice Lord. What's wrong? Luo asked, noticing Lin Dong's reaction. Nothing. Lin Dong shook his head. He did not wish to disclose Qing Huan's situation. Whether she awoke was up to fate, and personally, he didn't want the lively girl to become someone else, even if the awakened Ice Lord might become the savior of this world. Seeing this, Luo asked no further questions, saying, we don't know much about that mysterious organization, but more and more super-powerful individuals are beginning to pay attention. We will start investigating. The Thunder Emperor nodded with a smile. I can't be of much help with such matters. I hope this world can escape the clutches of the alien demons. Ending there, the Thunder Emperor's gaze suddenly fixed on Lin Dong and Luo, with an inexplicable glint in his eyes. Then, with a finger, the 9-headed thunder serpent in the sky again transformed into a thunderous sun. You too came here for it, right? Upon hearing the Thunder Emperor's words, Lin Dong and Luo's eyes sharpened. The atmosphere in the Thunder Realm, illuminated by flashing thunder, seemed to freeze for that moment. Lin Dong's lips were pressed tight. He had poured his heart and soul into the Thunder Ancestral Talisman, and now that he was here, giving up was not an option, no matter who stood in his way. Even if it was Luo. Luo stood with his hands behind his back, his crimson pupils flickering with a mysterious light. Similarly, he had some desire for the Thunder Ancestral Talisman. Heh! The Thunder Emperor chuckled at the two of them. This little fellow has the devouring Ancestral Talisman, indeed a rare ability allowing him to hold multiple Ancestral Talismans. But your Flame Ancestral Talisman is by nature overwhelmingly dominant, similar to the Thunder Ancestral Talisman. If you forcefully refine it, it might be too much for even your strength to bear. I understand that. Luo did not deny it and said calmly, I want the Thunder Ancestral Talisman for a different purpose. Besides, even if I can't refine it, I will find an appropriate person for it. Do you think I'm not suitable? Lin Dong frowned. You already have the devouring Ancestral Talisman. your potential is limitless. While it's said that the devouring property of the devouring ancestral talisman can accommodate others, there is an undeniable risk. Success is not guaranteed. Mo Luo spoke firmly. Moreover, your strength is still too weak. Having the devouring ancestral talisman alone is dangerous enough. If you also obtain the Thunder Ancestral Talisman and the alien demons learn of it, escape will be impossible. I hope the one to acquire the Thunder Ancestral Talisman is a fully fledged top-tier expert, not someone still in growth, as that holds too many unknown risks. No one can guarantee that during your growth, the alien demons won't come for you. Ancestral Talisman wielders will be pivotal in any future battlefield between realms, and we cannot afford to lose them. Lin Dong remained silent. Ultimately, Mo Luo didn't trust him to control multiple ancestral talismans and keep them safe. Mo Luo's doubts are understandable. Words may not suffice, but when I initially acquired the devouring ancestral talisman, I was merely at the chi creation stage with no powerful background. That I have reached here speaks of my caution, which perhaps Mo Luo cannot fully comprehend given his status. Lin Dong took a deep breath and said in a low voice, "So whether you believe me or not, I'll claim the Thunder Ancestral Talisman and refine it. I have confidence in myself." Lin Dong locked eyes with Mo Luo, showing no sign of retreat or avoiding the powerful aura of his opponent. His resilience was the same determined spirit he had shown over the years. Quite a courageous young fellow," the Thunder Emperor remarked with a smile, clearly impressed. Mo Luo turned to the Thunder Emperor and said slowly, "You are well aware of the domineering power of the Thunder Ancestral Talisman. What do you think his chances are of assimilating it?" The Thunder Emperor paused for a moment before replying, "Even though he has the devouring ancestral talisman, I wouldn't say the success rate exceeds 40%. The power of an ancestral talisman is simply too great. It's incredibly difficult to merge such forces. If he fails, not only will he fail to obtain the Thunder Ancestral Talisman, but the backlash from such immense power could even cause him to explode," Mo Luo said in a deep voice, his eyes fixed on Lin Dong. "Young man, everything has its limits. Acquiring the devouring ancestral talisman is already an enormous stroke of fortune. Press too hard, and you might lose more than you gain." Lin Dong didn't waver as he stared intently at Mo Luo, and then shook his head firmly. Both sides stood resolute, neither showing any intention of backing down. "Sigh, what a headache!" A voice unexpectedly intervened during the tense standoff. Suddenly a white light radiated from within Lin Dong, and to the astonished eyes of Mo Luo and the Thunder Emperor, a radiant figure materialized. "Yen," murmured Lin Dong, equally taken aback as he gazed at the apparition. "Who are you?" Mo Luo asked, incredulity coloring his voice as he stared at Yen. He sensed a peculiar and ancient aura emanating from Yen, an aura ancient enough to rival the ancestral talismans themselves. "You may call me Yen, or alternatively, the spirit of the ancestral stone," Yen replied with a slight smile. "The ancestral stone?" The Thunder Emperor's eyes sharpened, and he stared at Yen with a look of shock. Could it be the ancestral stone ranked second on the ancient list of divine relics, forged by the ancestral talisman master himself, from the world's most sacred materials? "He was indeed my first master," Yen nodded gently. Even Mo Luo's expression grew solemn at this revelation. Only those at their level could comprehend the power of the ancestral talisman master, the mightiest and most legendary figure in the history of this realm. Artifacts painstakingly created by him were indeed comparable to innate divine relics like the ancestral talismans. However, my current master is this young fellow here. Yen gestured toward Lin Dong with a smile. Who would have thought the second ranked on the ancient divine list would choose such a young master? The Thunder Emperor remarked, unable to hide his surprise. Because I believe he will reach unimaginable heights someday, Yen replied. Isn't such a choice a bit too hasty? Mo Luo questioned with a frown. Despite his posturing, he knew that in the eyes of the well-traveled Yen, his own power at the revolution stage might not seem intimidating. Especially considering Yan's past with the ancestral talisman master, who had eradicated numerous powerful alien demons during the ancient cosmic wars. This young fellow is indeed remarkable, but could he possibly reach the heights of the Ancestral Talisman Master? The Thunder Emperor joked. He admired Lin Dong, but had never entertained the thought that he could surpass such legendary heights. After all, few in history had ever reached the Ancestral Talisman Master's pinnacle. Within me resides a remnant of the Ancestral Talisman Master's spirit. It's not so much that I believe he can reach those heights, but rather, it's the Ancestral Talisman Master's belief, which is why I chose him, Yin quietly explained. The Ancestral Talisman Master's choice? The expressions of the Thunder Emperor and Mo Luo shifted instantly. Looking at Lin Dong again, their gazes were tinged with a peculiar quality, thinking there could be only one such person chosen by the Ancestral Talisman Master in the entire realm. Lin Dong was just as taken aback by Yan's revelation. He couldn't help but wonder if Yin was weaving tales, though if that were the case, it was impressive enough to have stunned these two Ancestral Talisman wielders. If it's true that the Ancestral Talisman Master has chosen him in some mysterious way, then perhaps he is indeed extraordinary, the Thunder Emperor said, casting an intrigued glance at Lin Dong with a smile. I didn't expect to witness someone chosen by the Ancestral Talisman Master before my end. Lin Dong felt awkward, unsure of what to say. That's why I hope the Thunder Ancestral Talisman will be given to Lin Dong. I believe he might become the most suitable bearer, Yin said, looking at Mo Luo. Mo Luo furrowed his brows, not anticipating that the dispute would involve the illustrious Ancestral Talisman Master. It was evident that both Yan's experience and wisdom far overshadowed his own. Yin and the Thunder Emperor gazed at the silent Mo Luo, knowing full well that though their status might be higher, Mo Luo was undoubtedly the most powerful currently present. Yin, being an unhealed spirit of the Ancestral Talisman, and the Thunder Emperor, facing imminent demise, could not hope to rival Mo Luo by force. Since you both have such faith in him, Mo Luo exhaled deeply under their watchful eyes, his tone growing more somber. I cannot oppose the Ancestral Talisman Master's choice. With the discussion reaching this point, Mo Luo's crimson gaze landed intently on Lin Dong. Face 3 moves from me, and the Thunder Ancestral Talisman will be yours. Do you dare? An intense heat surged in Lin Dong's deep, dark eyes. Without hesitation, he nodded, his voice unwavering and fearless. I dare. Lin Dong fully understood the immense challenge of withstanding 3 moves from a formidable powerhouse at the revolution stage, especially one who wielded an Ancestral Talisman. Yet, no matter the odds, he knew one thing. He could not give up the Thunder Ancestral Talisman. Even if his chance of enduring 3 moves from Mo Luo was barely a flicker, he refused to abandon hope. The Thunder Emperor, observing Lin Dong's steadfast demeanor under Mo Luo's oppressive aura, nodded in slight admiration for the young man's tenacity, worthy of commendation even from someone like him. Seeing Lin Dong agree, Mo Luo offered no further words, simply stating, "You have half an hour to prepare yourself." Hearing this, Lin Dong wasted no time. He sank into a meditative pose, activating his devouring power to absorb the surrounding thunder energy, converting it into surging primordial energy that coursed through his body. He knew that the upcoming confrontation would be his most formidable challenge to date. Mo Luo's strength likely surpassed that of the 3 headmasters of the Yuan sect, and given his intent to claim the Thunder Ancestral Talisman, holding back seemed unlikely. Muttering on the sidelines, Mu Lingshan puffed her cheeks indignantly at Mo Luo. Her voice was clear and piercing. Bullying others, how shameless. Mo Luo merely shrugged, disinclined to engage in verbal sparring with the young girl. He turned away, effectively ignoring her protest. 3 moves? Not easy to handle, the Thunder Emperor remarked with a smile. Given that Mo Luo was a bona fide Ancestral Talisman Master at the Revolution stage, even ordinary Revolution stage powerhouses would struggle against him. How much more daunting it would be for Lin Dong, who hadn't even attained great completion of the Life Mystique stage. The chasm between them seemed insurmountable. In this world, there's no absolute fairness, Mo Luo stated calmly. I've given him a chance. Slim, indeed, but whether he can seize it depends on his own abilities. If he was chosen by the Ancestral Talisman Master, he should have the capability to perform miracles. Hopefully, though it does seem excessive, a bit like bullying a junior, the Thunder Emperor conceded with a nod. Emo Luo glanced at the Thunder Emperor, resignedly asking, "When do you plan to fade away?" "Shouldn't be long now. Also, that's no way to talk." The Thunder Emperor chuckled softly, glancing at his gradually dissipating form before sighing, "Those cursed alien demons. I'll ensure every alien demon in this domain is wiped out," Emo Luo declared, his voice carrying a deep, fervent resolve. "You have quite the vendetta against them?" the Thunder Emperor queried curiously. "Back when I got the Flame Ancestral Talisman, I was about the same age as him," Emo Luo said, watching Lin Dong prepare with a tight grip of his concealed hands. "But I lacked his restraint and discretion. Exposing the Flame Ancestral Talisman eventually attracted the alien demons, leading to my family's annihilation. My father sacrificed his life to send me away. Only after that did I learn patience. It wasn't until I reached the revolution stage and founded the Flame Deity Palace that I dared reveal the Flame Ancestral Talisman. If I had understood this sooner, perhaps the family might have survived." The Thunder Emperor nodded, surprised by Emo Luo's backstory. The Ancestral Talismans, while conferring power, equally brought significant peril. Silence settled as both the Thunder Emperor and Emo Luo fell into contemplation, their emotions stirred. In this quiet, the half-hour swiftly passed, and as the time arrived, Lin Dong's eyes snapped open, brimming with a fierce vitality. Enormous primordial energy surged through his body, empowering every corner of his being. Lin Dong stood, aligning his gaze unwaveringly on Emo Luo, his posture firm and respectful. "Senior Emo Luo, please guide me." Emo Luo observed Lin Dong's fervent expression, his face briefly shifting but ultimately maintaining a distant nod. "I won't hold back. I will give my all." A grin spread across Lin Dong's face as he lightly retreated. Then, his formidable primordial energy erupted, his entire presence reaching its peak. Emo Luo, watching with an impassive demeanor, remained still. Crimson light rapidly gathered around Emo Luo with alarming speed. In just a matter of breaths, it transformed into an immense scarlet rainbow stretching 1,000 feet, emanating a terrifying aura. Lin Dong gazed at the massive scarlet aura conjured so effortlessly by Emo Luo, his eyes filled with grave concern. So, this is the power of a revolution stage expert, capable of such earth-shattering attacks with mere gestures. Ancient cosmic formation. Lin Dong took a deep breath, and the incantation resonated within him. A radiant brilliance surged from his body, forming a colossal light formation hundreds of feet across in the sky ahead of him. The formation exuded a mystical aura, slowly rotating as waves of unique energy distorted the surrounding space. The Thunder Emperor looked on with a trace of surprise at the formation Lin Dong summoned. With his keen eyesight, he could sense its formidable nature, indicating that this was no ordinary artifact. An interesting young lad indeed, to possess so many divine artifacts. He murmured to himself, curious to see how Lin Dong intended to withstand Emo Luo's triple assault. "Ancestral Stone," Lin Dong commanded again, and soft white light burst forth, forming a screen of light behind the formation. At the center of this screen, a weathered stone talisman floated serenely, with Yen sitting cross-legged atop it. Devouring Ancestral Talisman? In Lin Dong's dark eyes, a faint red glow emerged. He understood that the upcoming confrontation would be the toughest he had ever faced, leaving no room for holding back any of his cards. A torrent of black light surged once more from the crown of Lin Dong's head, becoming a massive vortex of black energy behind the screen. The vortex spun slowly, its devouring force absorbing the surrounding energy to grow stronger. 3 divine artifacts. Yet it's still not quite enough. The Thunder Emperor nodded slightly, watching Lin Dong's preparations. If such artifacts were wielded by someone at the revolution stage, even Emo Luo would be hard-pressed. Unfortunately, Lin Dong was only at the great completion of the life mystique stage, a vast gap compared to Emo Luo. Summoning the devouring Ancestral Talisman, Lin Dong took several deep breaths, the red glow in his eyes intensifying. With a wave of his sleeve, 20 Heart of Thunder orbs whistled forth, directly absorbed into the devouring Ancestral Talisman. Boom! Violent energy erupted within it, the devouring force violently spinning as it assimilated the wild, thunderous power. Buzz! Buzz! With the swift absorption of over 20 Heart of Thunder orbs, the vortex expanded rapidly, unleashing immense energy that surged into the light screen and formation. Using the devouring power of the devouring Ancestral Talisman to absorb the Heart of Thunder's energy to fortify the other two divine artifacts. It's a clever plan, praised the Thunder Emperor. With his discerning eye, he immediately grasped Lin Dong's intention, admitting it was Lin Dong's sole means of resisting Imo Luo at present. Not satisfied, Lin Dong roared inwardly, unleashing one final colossal Heart of Thunder, the one left by Zhuofei. Is this Heart of Thunder Zhuofei's manifestation? The Thunder Emperor mused, recognizing familiar traces of an erstwhile subordinate in its aura. Imo Luo has truly pushed this youngster to his limits. As the massive Heart of Thunder was absorbed into the devouring Ancestral Talisman, the vortex quivered intensely, unleashing waves of terrifying energy that cascaded into Lin Dong's defenses. With Lin Dong's relentless efforts, the black vortex, light screen, and formation swelled to 1,000 feet, presenting a spectacular, formidable sight from afar. His eyes crimson, Lin Dong surveyed the defenses he erected with a faintly manic smile. Then, lifting his head, he fixed his gaze on Imo Luo, who looked back impassively from a distance. Imo Luo, let's begin. Lin Dong's voice, tinged with a touch of madness, reverberated through the Thunder Realm with a thunderous roar. His three-layered defense stood firm in the void, emitting staggering energy fluctuations that warped the surrounding space. To construct such formidable defenses with your great completion of life mystique stage strength, it's quite a feat. Imo Luo stood in the void, his feet seemingly stepping on air. 1,000-foot-long crimson rainbow encircled him like a vast lake. As he observed the formidable defenses Lin Dong had hastily set up with all his means, Imo Luo nodded slightly and spoke with an indifferent tone. However, I must regretfully inform you that this obstruction is useless against me. The moment his words fell, Imo Luo's eyes turned sharp like blades, and the temperature of the entire area suddenly heated up. In the next instant, he extended a finger toward the air with a decisive motion. Boom! With the strike of Imo Luo's finger, it was as if the world around them had exploded. The formidable thunder power that initially surrounded Imo Luo dissipated, replaced by an intense, violent primordial energy. The crimson rainbow spiraling around him seemed to awaken, like a red dragon slowly rising. Its body curved like the pulled string of a bow. Break! Imo Luo's calm voice cut through the air, and the crimson rainbow shot out with sudden fury. As it sped forward, it shattered the very space in its wake. It's coming! Lin Dong saw the reflection of the crimson rainbow in his eyes, his youthful face morphing into a wild smile. Its speed was indescribable. He only caught a flash of red before the rainbow burst through the ancient cosmic formation like a meteor crashing down. Thud! An indescribable boom resonated across the Thunder Realm, as towering waves of crimson light, akin to molten lava, engulfed the sky. Buzz! Buzz! The cosmic formation trembled violently, releasing waves of dissipative energy in an attempt to deconstruct the fearsome crimson rainbow. However, the energy within the rainbow was so frighteningly solid that it rendered the otherwise infallible deconstructive power powerless. Crack! The defense of the cosmic formation lasted only a few moments before Lin Dong's eyes tightened, watching as cracks rapidly spread across its surface. Crash! The spread of the cracks was swift, and then, with a flicker of red, a sharp cracking sound echoed, declaring the cosmic formation shattered for the first time since Lin Dong had acquired it. Such is the fearsome power of a practitioner at the revolution stage. Yet Lin Dong had no time for astonishment. With the cosmic formation breached, the dragon-like crimson rainbow continued its assault, crashing ferociously against the second layer of defense, the Ancestral Stone. The Ancestral Stone emanated a gentle white light like a towering bronze wall, yet it, too, was on the brink of depletion. Had Lin Dong wielded its full restored power, Mo Luo wouldn't have stood a chance. Boom! The crimson rainbow descended, striking the light barrier with another cataclysmic sound. The barrier was visibly thinning at an alarming rate. Sigh. From within the fading light, a faint sigh echoed as the barrier shattered. The Ancestral Stone's brilliance dimmed as it merged back into Lin Dong's body. The second line of defense had crumbled. Lin Dong's eyes were tinged red, anger flaring as both his formidable defenses had been so easily swept aside by Mo Luo. If it's a fight he wants, then let's give it everything. Determined, Lin Dong, like a gambler risking his all, roared and unleashed the full potential of the final black hole defense. Whiz! The crimson rainbow charged forward with no restraint, colliding directly with the last layer of defense that Lin Dong had put into place. Boom! The massive black hole whirled frantically, its devouring force unleashed to its zenith, attempting to engulf the violent energy of the crimson rainbow. In that moment, a stalemate seemed to take place. Lin Dong's eyes remained locked on the swirling void. Although the stalemate persisted, his heart sank as he realized the effectiveness of the devouring force was swiftly waning. The energy within the crimson rainbow was vast beyond measure. Lin Dong's current devouring power couldn't hope to consume it fully. Hiss! Hiss! Streaks of crimson light shot out from the black hole as its rotation slowed, reaching the limits of its devouring capacity. However, after weathering 3 layers of defenses, the crimson rainbow had diminished from 1,000 to 100 feet in size, clearly consuming a tremendous amount of energy. Bang! The formidable 3-layered defense was completely shattered at that moment. Lin Dong's true form was now utterly exposed to Qi Hong's menacing gaze. "You've lost," Mo Luo declared coldly. "Without my defense, I still have my body." Lin Dong's eyes flashed with a red glow, and he let out a roar towards the sky. Radiant azure light burst forth from his body as 35 azure dragon light patterns soared, spiraling around him. Swoosh! The 35 azure dragon light patterns coiled around Lin Dong, who intentionally charged forward. Under Mu Lingshan's astonished gaze, he directly and forcefully collided with the now 100-foot-tall Qi Hong. Boom! Violent energy roiled through the sky. The azure light that charged out was sent hurtling thousands of feet away, blood spraying profusely in its wake. The 35 azure dragon light patterns all exploded. "What a fierce youngster," said the Thunder Emperor, watching Lin Dong's bloody form being blasted away amidst the shrinking and eventual annihilation of Qi Hong. His eyes betrayed a hint of amazement. Mo Luo's attack had been successfully blocked by Lin Dong. Cough, cough. From afar in the sky, Lin Dong, bloodied all over, could feel the intense pain coursing through his body. Yet, despite the agony, his eyes burned with exhilaration. As he wiped the blood from his face, he knew he had endured Mo Luo's initial strike. A brief silence settled over the sky. Mo Luo glanced somewhat bewildered at the scene before gradually regaining his composure, commenting blandly, "With the first strike, I have broken through all your defenses. In your current state, do you still find it necessary to continue?" "Mo Luo, there's no need for idle chatter right now," Lin Dong replied, raising his head to stare at Mo Luo with reddened eyes. He grinned, blood involuntarily spilling from his mouth as he spoke. Mo Luo nodded indifferently, raising his hand to summon another manifestation of Qi Hong. This time, it was even more formidable, its massive form entwined with flames. "Isn't that too ruthless?" the Thunder Emperor remarked, unable to hold back his comment. Ignoring the remark, Mo Luo waved his hand, sending the towering Qi Hong to rip through space once again, shooting toward Lin Dong with lightning speed. He was curious to see how Lin Dong, now deprived of his previous 3 divine artifacts, planned to thwart this attack. Lin Dong spat out a mouthful of blood, gazing at the ferocious Qi Hong barreling toward him. Yet, he broke into a grin, clenched his hand, and a silver rune appeared within his grasp.